And welcome to this Degenerate Friday edition of Bury Your Bookie. I'm Jeff DeForrest. Very happy to have you along for the ride. Going to be a lot of fun today as we'll feature the professor who is all in. I mean, diving with a five-bagger into college basketball on tonight's slate. Even took an overview of some of the games that are of significance that are taking place tomorrow and over the weekend. And then, of course, we'll have the professor's big board, which is especially appropriate as we've been pushing a little bit of tournament action, probably a premature evaluation. I was looking at some brackets today. We don't even know who's going to be in the fucking thing, and already trying to decide where the 5 versus 12 upset is going to take place. Is it Mizzou that's going down as a number 5 seed? We shall see. Yesterday, we were kind of jammed into making a pick towards the end of the session that we had with you yesterday here on Bury Your Bookie, and I went to the world of golf and threw out a very unsexy selection of Justin Thomas. This was a quick perusal of odds and thinking, hey, if you're getting almost 30 to 1 on his cat, he's playing a little bit better golf. So not a total burial. We're tied for 11th place, 4 shots off the pace being set by Wyndham Clark at the Arnie Palmer Classic at Bay Hill. So not a total disaster. We welcome into the show the professor who was on fire. We did a program earlier this morning, and this topic really, I think, hits a strong and very prominent nerve with you. That will be the subject of the big board today, does it not?
The tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's my favorite event of the year.
No, but I'm talking about your big board topic. I mean,
yes. There are definitely. Well, we'll get there when we get there. We're not there. I don't want to blow the preview for the people who
the
didn't
people
see
in
it.
suspense. Yes,
The people who didn't see it on the show we just did 12 minutes ago.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's always tough to reprise this because the rehearsal always goes better than the actual.
By the way, speaking of topics, I just now somebody sent me the tweet where Kendrick Perkins is trying to fight Charles Barkley.
Yes.
Yeah. Way to be a man, Kendrick. You've got, 6 inches of height and 100 pounds and like 30 years on Charles Barkley.
Oh, he's going to fight the guy now?
Call him out I guess he called him out for a brawl on Twitter, saying,
nice. It's a good way to settle the argument. Although I did see Kendrick Perkins, and I keep wondering. I understand it's ESPN, and this is the direction they've chosen. They just gave Stephen A. Smith $100 million to carry the network on his back by screaming out outrageous things, often with no foundation in truth. Sometimes it comes up with something, but in general, I mean, you're looking at a guy that's perpetrating an act, and Perkins is in that same category, is he not? I mean, one of those ornery guys that always had a Rick Mahorn type of face on when he was playing, and it doesn't seem to provide any particular great insight. I saw him say that the Lakers, their play of late and their acquisition of Luka Doncic, which nobody knew how that was really going to go, seems to be going well. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Beat the Knicks last night in overtime, dramatic fashion. And, I mean, it seems to be working. But he says that they are saving the league, the Lakers.
I mean, from a rating standpoint, I guess, and it's saving the league in terms of it can't be possibly a bigger financial. I mean, like if your starting point is 0.1 is saving. So, look, I think there's probably a lot of dudes in the NBA industry, and I'm not, the NBA television industry, who are looking at the writing on the wall in terms of ratings of what the NBA is doing and are, sitting in a corner touching themselves because Steph is prominent right this second in the Lakers. I mean, look, for whatever reason, we've talked about this before, the current crop of stars and the current really good teams are not connecting with the television audience remotely. And again, a lot of foreign-born guys, both Europeans and Canadians, a lot of guys who don't necessarily do tons of commercials. And, I mean, look, SGA, one of the best players in the league. I'm not sure, other than that stupid AT&T What a Pro Wants commercials that everybody wanted to, stab a corkscrew through their brain to forget. I don't think I've ever seen him in another commercial. Luka, don't see a lot of commercial. I mean, I guess if like somebody wants to release a hookah, we'll see A lot of
In-N-Out Burger would be appropriate, but they don't need to advertise.
I mean, unless they start a big sulky company wants to sign him to a deal, I think you see a lot of Jokic commercials like that. These guys, the younger generation, is just not connecting the way previous stars have. So yeah, I think there's a lot of NBA guys television who would love to see like Lakers,
Oh, no doubt.
Warriors,
I think that's a
Western
given.
Conference Finals.
Anyway, I don't know if they're saving the league. Hey, I tell you what, this can save you a lot of grief and anxiety about getting paid and all the different things that go along with betting these days. Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting in 2025. They're off to a rocket start here. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion. They have the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. Bet Online continues to be your number one source for all betting services. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and much more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right, I suspected this morning that you were burning some kind of fever, almost an abstraction of pennant fever, because you have your college basketball tournaments and
Conference
asking
tournament
you
fever.
to give yeah, and some of the finales that are coming up in the regular season, and we figured you were going to pop your usual 2 or 3 games, and you were still going after 5. So let's get into a couple of selections here for the people
I
out
mean,
there.
there's nothing I like better than weekday mid-afternoon basketball, and there is one starting at 3:30 this afternoon. We did just get a line pop on this. We gave it out, I don't know, 25 minutes ago, and Belmont was catching a point and a half. I'm now showing them laying a point and a half
Wow.
to Illinois State. So line moving fast and furious on this one. Belmont has struggled with defense for most of the season, but you look on it, they've won 4 of their last 5, and they've looked notably better defensively in this spot. I think they're in an advantage situation because Illinois State got pushed for a half yesterday where they probably shouldn't have been. Now they have to come and play that dreaded back-to-back with a 3:30 start and had play an afternoon start yesterday. Generally, that's not a good sign for fatigue. Belmont, again, was catching a point and a half earlier, now laying a point and a half, but we like Belmont in this spot. These two teams kind of played a couple of wars in the regular season, but we think Belmont's playing hotter coming into this one. So like Belmont at 3:30. That takes us to 6 o'clock. You got UNC Asheville and Charleston Southern. Asheville has not had a great season, but they have 20 wins, 20-10. And most importantly, they clubbed Charleston Southern just a couple weeks ago. They're only laying 6 and a hook in this situation. Again, Charleston Southern, I want to say they have lost like 8 in a row, 9 in a row.
Wow.
Excuse me. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their last 8. So again, looks like a good spot for Asheville in this one. Normally, this would be like a pseudo home court game for Asheville, but apparently they're playing the tournament in Johnson City, Tennessee this weekend. Again, I didn't think Johnson City was a real place. I thought it was made up. Wagon wheel. Takes us to the 7 o'clock slot, a number that has dropped a little, but we still like the dog here, and that is VCU. They were laying 9.5, now showing 9 to Dayton. Dayton trying to close out the regular season, make a push to get in that large bid. They have won 5 of their last 6, including a nice win over St. Louis coming in their last one. Don't know if they're going to win this game straight up, but 9 seems like a lot of points in this matchup. So we will take Dayton and the points.
Holy Donnie May.
Again, Illinois and Purdue, we've been on the fade with Illinois for about a month now. Not coming in strong to this one, have lost 3 of their last 5, including taking a beat down from Duke and lost their last home game by 14 to Sparty. They play Purdue tonight. The Boilermakers catching 4.5. Purdue is playing pretty well to close the season. They did get on a bad streak there when they lost 4 in a row, but have rebounded from that. Beat up UCLA last Friday, a game where we actually liked UCLA, and then just beat the holy hell out of Rutgers earlier this week, 100-71. So we like the way Purdue has played in the last 2 games, the last week, and they're catching points. So we like that one. And then we get to the one of the day, which keeps going up. but we still like it, and that is Winthrop playing Longwood. This is another matchup. These two teams played 10 days ago. Winthrop won by 26. They are now laying 3.5 in the conference tournament. Like Winthrop in this spot, obviously. I got a preview of the matchup just 10 days ago when they beat the holy hell out of Longwood. So we will take Winthrop at -3 and a hook.
You would think that would have served as more than Homan, 3.5 when they beat them by what, 30 points? You said,
Yeah, 26.
My God! All right, what are the people thinking out there? So there you have it from the professor. A 5-bagger of games. Belmont line move, humongous, 3 points in the span of what was it, like a half an hour there, Professor. After you gave that out on another program, always bet the teams named after racetracks. I'll be rooting for them along with you, and then UNC Asheville to blow out Charleston Southern, who's playing lousy basketball. You had Purdue Dayton getting 9 points. Purdue also projected, and then, of course, finishing out with Winthrop in what appears to be a very solid spot. The professor on college basketball, and that is great. I mean, imagine this: how many people get involved this early in this? I mean, you have all of these sort of weenie conference one entry per conference tournaments going on. I happen to love those, especially when they get to the finals and you see what it means to these guys to get Fairleigh Dickinson going into the tournament. And then you always hope that they are a giant killer and they knock off like Purdue in the first round, which is part of the fascination of the thing. But no, it should be a very interesting afternoon. And of course, if you put a few bucks on this stuff, I think it enhances. Does it not ratchet up the interest level exponentially?
100%.
Yes.
110%.
Otherwise, why would you care about this Winthrop game? I mean, Winthrop and Longwood would mean nothing to you.
Probably not.
Yeah, whether they're playing basketball or field hockey, it wouldn't make any difference. All right. This is a time of year, though, where there are some very, very annoying people.
There are.
And types of people that end up getting involved in the tournament. And you're a basketball purist, as people can just sense from your analysis. I mean, you really get into the game for the essence of the game and the numbers and the possibility to make some money wagering. Not everybody does, so. Some people just do it to be a nuisance.
Yes.
So that leads us to the big board for this week, the professor's big board. And this week's topic is
Well, let's pull this up here. This week's topic is the big board of the most annoying people during the tournament. And I should say, because there's a little confusion earlier, we're not talking about individuals. We may do individuals by the time we get there. Yeah. This is the most annoying types of people during the tournament. And a lot of them are just variations on a theme. They're people who don't give a damn about college basketball and only get involved in the tournament because they want to jerk around on a Thursday, Friday afternoon when they should be working, which I fully respect that instinct.
You will be, no doubt, at a bar somewhere with a beer or something and watching all of these games with compelling interest.
Absolutely. But some people just get really annoying during the tournament, and that's what we're talking about today. And we'll start with number 5, which is the guy who's running a $5 Yahoo pool and will not leave you the hell alone about it. Everybody knows this person. Like 3 seconds after the brackets are released, they start sending you emails. They start sending you text messages. Join my pool, dude. Join my pool. I started a pool. Yeah. Join my pool. And then they send you 15 more emails about it. And then Thursday, they start actively calling you like, oh, man, we got 9. We need 10. Please join my pool. Dude, it's 9 o'clock on Thursday morning of the tournament. I got 9 more brackets to fill out. I don't have time to join your goddamn pool. And what is this message asking me to send you $5 electronically? Like I said earlier, and I think this is 100% true, you can tell a lot about human beings based on which app they want you to send their money on. Like,
absolutely.
The guy I know who does this, and why the hell are you still on Yahoo? It's 2025. Wants me to Cash App him. Dude, like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be stereotypical or whatever, engaging in hatred. But if you're asking me for a Cash App, I assume you make most of your income off of OnlyFans. Like, I don't want to. I don't want Cash App on my phone. I feel like if I download Cash App, my email address is just going out to thousands of strippers and OnlyFans girls. When I I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Like I don't have Cash App. I can't send it to you. Like get Zelle. Get like a normal people. Get a cash money moving thing for people who have jobs. Like I don't. And stop asking me to join your stupid pool. I don't want to. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Even I am too busy for your pool. Please stop messaging me about it.
Don't contact me. Lose my number. The guy with the $5 Yahoo pool group. All
Right,
right, this is number 5.
If there's not at least $1,000 in your pool,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear from you. Like
exactly.
up your if you want to make it selective, up your prices. Like I don't have a problem with that. But if first place is $25,
Yeah.
like why the hell are you bothering me?
Hardly seems worth it at 5 to 1. All right, that's number 5. Number 4.
Number 4 is the jerk off who picks every year based on mascots. And look, we as guys like to pretend it's just women who do this, but there is always some guy in the office that doesn't pay any attention to college basketball, has no idea even what the names are, and and he always wants to tell you about it as if he invented this goddamn system. And it's always he wants to, oh really? Tell me about how in a matchup a Blue Jay would use its quickness to outfight a duck. Who the hell cares? Tell me again how a Blue Devil would use its mystical powers to overcome a mountaineer who's just a guy with a gun. Like, really? Oh, so the Romans used to fight bears versus tigers in the Colosseum 1,500 years ago, and that way Baylor is overcoming LSU in the second round. The hell are you telling me? Like, you did not invent this system. People have been. This system was literally used as a storyline for an episode of What's Happening in 1977. People think I'm lying about this. There was an episode of What's Happening, I think it was NFL games, where Rerun was picking games based on goddamn mascots.
And people are still trying to perpetrate this hoax today.
Right. Please tell me about your totally unoriginal, hackneyed, I'm betting based on mascot system. And I've actually taken it seriously and put thought into who would win a matchup between a cardinal and a pelican. Like I give a goddamn.
Yeah. Bigger ability to swallow for sure with the pelican. So you're thinking the Cardinals toast, but much more speed, like Lou Brock. Unbelievable.
Defo is literally describing the guy who we're saying is the number.
I've run into him. Believe me, we've tried every system possible, and this one I agree with you. When somebody's like pressing you that this is a good idea, you want to walk away and dismiss yourself from them and get as far away as you can. All right, that's number 4. Number 3.
Number 3 is a fairly modern invention because every website, everywhere. And I'm not just talking about like ESPN and Sportsline and all of those. I think goddamn, I don't know, Home and Garden runs an NCAA tournament. Like Cat Fancy Mascot. Cat Fancy Magazine has a goddamn bracket challenge now. And it is led to this guy, number 3, which is the jerk off who's in 20 different tournaments and has 20 different brackets.
Yeah.
Who wants to tell you all the mathematic computations he is doing in his head as Duke plays Houston. Well, see, if Duke wins, I've got them going out next round. But if Houston wins in this bracket on Cat Fancy, I've got them going to the Final Four. So I think I'm rooting for Houston here, right? I don't get in this to do goddamn math. I don't want to know how you've used the Pythagorean formula to decide you're rooting for Kansas State in the next round. I don't care. I do one bracket. I do enter in a bunch of websites. I won't lie about that. I do enter a lot of major challenges, but I do one bracket. And look, I understand that with hundreds of thousands of people, literally hundreds of thousands in the ESPN case, millions of people entering into these pools, that I will never win. But if I do ever win, I'm going to win like lottery money. I'm going to win like if I have that year where I just have everything perfect, not literally perfect, but I have everything go my way, I'm going to win like life-changing money. So I know it's never going to happen. I know the odds are lottery level, but if it does, I want to win everything. So I have one bracket. Don't be the guy who has 20 entries, 20 different entries on 20 different websites. By the way, Guy Fieri in the picture here. We didn't have a good picture for this one. It just seems like something Guy Fieri would do. So we used Guy Fieri for the picture.
Always annoying. The guy that shows you his losing ticket at the track in a pick 5 sequence, and
Right.
they left out the 3. I can't believe it.
This is actually a track thing where it's like,
Yeah.
well, I've got the 4, 7, 8, and 10, but on another ticket, I've got the 10 and 4.
Yes.
So I want the 4. Yeah, like I don't care. Like, please.
It's the old saver ticket, or maybe you have multiples of one, but nonetheless, yeah, the guy that's got 20 different brackets and 20 different entries.
I don't want to hear about it.
various
Like,
pools,
if you
yeah.
want to do it, knock yourself out. I don't care. We both know
Get out of my life.
you're not going to win either. But
That's the guy
just
that's
don't
looking
tell
through
me
his
about it.
tickets at the end and doesn't even know what he has. Oh, look at this. I had it.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. All right, that's number 3, the guy with 20 different brackets.
Number 2, and I will tell you, this is the one that is my biggest personal hate during the tournament, but I don't think other people necessarily hate him as much as I do. So we made it number 2 instead of number 1. And number 2 is the guy who roots for the goddamn Ivy League every fucking year.
Here, yes.
And people are going to think I'm doing politics. I'm not doing politics here. I used a picture of J.D. Vance because every guy who does this looks like goddamn J.D. Vance. It's always some guy in like his mid-40s with a beard,
Yeah.
talking about how much he loves the Ivy League team in the first round. And last year it bottomed out because it was goddamn Yale. Like, even among Ivy League schools, Yale is the one that other Ivy League schools think are arrogant and evil. Like, when you've got that qualification, when you're the Ivy League school that other Ivy League schools hate, that tells you something. And maybe we shouldn't have all been cheering for Yale over goddamn Auburn. And then you ask about them, they're like, oh, they play basketball the right way. Really? Basketball the right way is some dude at the top dribbling out and while guys run 30 back cuts in 30 seconds. And if none of those work, he's just going to chuck one up from the stands and hope. That's basketball the right way. And number 2, again, this is always like, it's not, look, if there's like some 85-year-old dude who went to Columbia, I get it. I get why you're rooting, but it's always like some mid-40s guy. Like, you're not old enough to remember basketball when it was all just picks and back cuts. Like, you're talking about something you've never seen. You've only seen it in a Harlem Globetrotter clips from the 50s when even the Globetrotters were white. Like, just tell me you're racist, and that's the reason you're rooting for the Ivy League. Like, and it's always only the Ivy League. Like, it's never BYU. It's not like BYU is short of white dudes. Like, you'll see a lot of time where BYU has 5 white dudes on the court at the same time. It has now gotten to the point where BYU, I just call all white dudes Jimmer because I don't know. I can't keep up with what their names are. I'm not even joking. I was watching BYU the other night. I was like, okay, so that's headband Jimmer. That's blonde Jimmer. That's kind of looks Greek Jimmer, who's tall. Like, I just call them all Jimmer now. Like, just tell me you're racist and you're rooting for your natural overlords who go to Ivy League schools. I'd rather have you do that than tell me how Ivy League schools play basketball the right way. Nothing worse in the world.
Carrying a picture of Pete Carrill in their wallet.
Nothing worse in the world than a bunch of middle-aged white dudes with beards cheering loudly for the Ivy League team, no matter who it is. And
Bill Bradley coming up those cuts, though.
I go the other way. When I hear those guys, I start rooting for Kentucky to beat the holy shit out of I want those Ivy League players bleeding by the end of the game.
To leave in disgrace. All right, that's number 2.
Actually, I should tell you, thought of the perfect scenario here, which would be, now that Duke is led by a bunch of white dudes, if Duke played the Ivy League in the first round this season.
Oh, you'd be rooting for Duke. Wow.
It would be so perfect because everybody who looks like J.D. Vance in the bar, their brain would be melting down. About who do I cheer for? Do I cheer for Cooper Flagg and the White All-Stars, or do I cheer for the Ivy League? My brain can't handle Duke playing Penn in the first round. It would literally cause aneurysms.
It would throw some people off their game. All right, number 1.
Number 1, and again, don't take this as political. Just the man is the perfect example of it. The worst person you meet during the tournament, the chalk-eating pig. And feel how you do about Barack Obama's politics. Love him, hate him, I don't care. There was no bigger chalk-eating pig in history than Barack Obama picking games on ESPN. Again, in 4 years, I think the biggest upset he ever picked was a 9 seed beating an 8 seed.
It went stepped way out there on the Acapulco Cliffs on that one.
And again, I think 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four, and everybody's like, oh my God, Barack Obama, he nailed it. He really knows basketball. No, he picked 4 number 1 seeds. Does the same shit every year. His Final Four is like 3 number 1 seeds and a number 2 seed. The man is the biggest chalk eater in the history of chalk eaters. He's the biggest chalk eater that I know of in any sport, including horse racing, and that's hard. There's always like 10 jerk-offs screaming their head off for the favorite.
3 to 5 shot, yeah. And the track handicapper almost routinely picks the chalk.
But yeah, there's nothing worse than the chalk-eating pig. And Barack Obama, like I said, love him or hate him, nobody in history has ever been a bigger chalk eater than Barack Obama. And that is the worst type of person to run into during the NCAA tournament.
Brilliant as always. I hope you dodge all of the types there, right? I'm sure you're still being.
I won't. It's inevitable. Like I said, when that Ivy League team, pushes somebody, in the first round. And let's look. I'm curious now to see who the Ivy League champion is this year, because and it better not be goddamn Yale again.
No, that was serious.
Let's see here. Who is the? Of course, it's Yale. Yale has run away with it. Really? Oh my God, Yale and Duke would be. Please, NCAA committee.
Beautiful way to start the tournament.
Fry the brains of every middle-aged bearded white dude sitting in a bar on a Thursday and make Yale play Duke. I can't believe it's fucking Yale again. I mean, honestly, even among the Ivy Leagues, Yale is like the most. If Satan ever declared an official college, it would be Yale.
It would have been Yale. No sure. All right, Professor, we love you, man. Good luck with all your plays. Enjoy the afternoon. I know you're going to because you'll be involved. And thanks so much for being with us here on Bury Your Bookie.
You have a great one, Defo.
All right. The Professor, ladies and gentlemen. A little opinionated on that. That was great. But there are many, many annoying types that surface, especially during the tournament, because everybody all of a sudden is a college basketball expert. The Professor, all over a few games today, Belmont, that line flew from getting 1.5 to giving 1.5 against Illinois State. Likes Belmont there. And as I've often said, any school, any team that's named after a racetrack, I'm betting them. He likes UNC Asheville over Charleston Southern in a big way. They're laying 6 and a hook. He liked Dayton getting 9 against VCU. Purdue over Illinois. Illinois, I believe, is laying 4.5 in that ball game. So Purdue getting some points. And big play, Winthrop over Longwood. The Professor, ladies and gentlemen, trying to help you get your weekend launched in style here and help you do what we try to do all week long. And thanks to people for tuning in, and, of course, the people at nofilter.net for having us. For the Professor, I'm Jeff DeForrest, and we're hoping that all throughout the weekend you are able to continue to bury your bookie.